Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a tiny village in post-war Austria, no indoor plumbing, chickens out back, and a stern father who wakes his sons before dawn. That's where Arnold Schwarzenegger's story begins, in Thal, just outside Graz. He was born in 1947, the second son of Gustav, the village police chief, and Aurelia, whose warmth balanced the household's strict, almost militaristic order. Now, you might be wondering, how does a boy from these humble beginnings end up as a symbol of the American dream? The answer lies in two words: relentless discipline. Arnold's day started before sunrise, with farm chores, then a punishing exercise regimen. It's like building a house. If you don't lay the foundation right, the rest won't stand. He didn't just dream, he outworked his circumstances. Let me tell you a story. As a teen, Arnold was obsessed with bodybuilding. His training space? A freezing, unheated room, no fancy gym, just grit and iron. He studied anatomy and nutrition, learning how muscles grow and how your fuel, your food, impacts your gains. These are technical terms. Hypertrophy, the growth of muscle fibers, and macronutrients, the protein, carbs, and fats that fuel your body. Arnold devoured it all. His parents? They worried. Sure. Imagine your son spending hours every day lifting weights until his hands bled. But Arnold had a vision. America. Success. Leaving that small village behind. Did you ever have a dream that big? So vivid it pulled you out of bed before the sun rose? Arnold did, and he chased it with every fiber of his being. This is our setup, the world against him, doubts swirling. The conflict? A boy who refuses to be ordinary. The resolution? Well, let's just say the world would soon know his name, and not just because of his biceps. What does it take to become Mr. Universe? Not just muscles, but sacrifice. At 18, Arnold joined the Austrian army. A month in, he skipped out without permission to compete in his first bodybuilding contest, Mr. Junior Europe. He won, but paid the price. A year in the brig. Can you picture it? Locked up, but plotting your next move. Here's where the technical terms come in. Anabolic window, the prime time after training when your body craves nutrients, and progressive overload, the principle of increasing demands on muscles to force them to adapt. Arnold lived these concepts before they were fitness buzzwords. He trained 5 hours a day, pushing past pain thresholds that would make most people quit. Now, you might be thinking, how did he keep going? Didn't he ever want to give up? Honestly, he did. He missed his family, felt like an outsider. But that's the conflict, the world saying no, and Arnold answering, I'll show you. When he won Mr. Universe at 20, he was the youngest ever a record. It wasn't just a trophy, it was a ticket. The next stage, America. Let me paint the scene. Miami, 1,968. Arnold loses the title, but gains something more, a mentor, Joe Waiter, the father of modern bodybuilding. Waiter saw more than a physique. He saw star power. He brought Arnold to Los Angeles, the land of dreams. This is the setup for Act 2. Would Arnold adapt or fade away in a city bursting with talent and ambition? For every victory, there was a setback. But each time, Arnold doubled down, reclaiming the Mr. Universe crown in 1969 and dominating the new Olympus of muscle, Mr. Olympia. The world started to notice. And soon, so did Hollywood. Let's shift to the next act, Hollywood. Imagine walking into an audition with a thick Austrian accent, a body sculpted like a Greek statue, and zero reputation in acting. Most doors would slam shut. Early roles were small, muscle-bound parts in forgettable films. But Arnold had something critics missed: charisma and a willingness to learn. His breakthrough? Conan the Barbarian, 1,982. Critics laughed at his accent. Who can understand this guy? But audiences loved it. Sometimes, what makes you different becomes your biggest asset. It's like in movie production, what's called typecasting, when you're only offered certain roles, and box office draw, the financial power to bring in ticket sales. Arnold became both, a type and a draw. Then came the Terminator, 74 words of dialogue, a monotone robotic cadence, and one immortal catchphrase: "I'll be back." That line, delivered with icy precision, became cinematic legend. Who knew that a cyborg assassin could launch one of the most bankable careers in Hollywood? You might be asking, was it just muscles and one-liners? Not at all. Arnold studied acting, learned comic timing, and embraced self-deprecation. He flipped the script, starring in comedies like Twins and Kindergarten Cop, showing he wasn't afraid to poke fun at himself. The resolution? By the early 90 seconds, he was an international superstar, banking $30 million per film, drawing fans from New York to Tokyo. His accent? Not a liability, but a signature. What once made him an outsider now made him unforgettable. But let's go behind the spotlight. Arnold wasn't just a Hollywood titan, he was also a family man with 4 kids and a marriage to Maria Shriver, a journalist from America's political royalty, the Kennedys. Imagine the breakfast table: an action star, a news anchor, 2 political parties, Republican and Democrat, debating over coffee. Talk about a power couple. Now, you might say, how did he balance all that? The answer: teamwork. Both Arnold and Maria shared intense drive, a quirky sense of humor, and an ironclad commitment to their family. When their differences, political, social, threatened to pull them apart, they leaned in. That's resilience. Arnold's American success wasn't just in movies and money. He championed the Special Olympics, inspired by his mother-in-law Eunice Kennedy Shriver, and served as international weight training coach. He also took the national stage as chairman of the President's Council on Physical Fitness, traveling the country to urge Americans to get moving. Here's a technical term: advocacy, using your influence for a cause, and policy outreach, bringing attention to issues through public engagement. Arnold excelled at both. He made fitness cool, pushing for programs that help kids stay active and healthy. The emotional core? Underneath the muscle and fame was a father, husband, and advocate, proving the strongest people aren't just those who lift the heaviest weights, but those who lift others along the way. Now, Act 3, politics. Who'd have guessed that the man behind Hasta La Vista, Baby would trade Hollywood sets for Sacramento State House? In 2003, as California faced a political earthquake, a historic recall election, Arnold announced his candidacy live on late-night TV. Some scoffed, others cheered. Would voters want a celebrity governor or a seasoned politician? Arnold's campaign was unconventional. He shunned traditional playbooks, appearing on talk shows, mixing movie quotes with policy promises. He dubbed himself the collectionator, promising to fight for federal funds. Technical terms like recall election, where voters can remove an elected official before the end of their term, and budget deficit, when a state spends more than it takes in, became dinner table conversation. Here's the conflict: an action hero facing California's real-life villains, skyrocketing debt, economic uncertainty, and bitter partisan gridlock. Critics said, "This isn't the movies. No one's handing you a ray gun to blow up the deficit." But Arnold surprised everyone. He cut car taxes, built bridges across party lines, and persuaded voters to back bold measures like Proposition 57, which used bonds to tackle $15 billion in state debt. You're probably thinking, did he succeed? Was it all show and no substance? The truth is complicated. He made progress, but politics is messier than any Hollywood ending. Yet he never stopped believing that boldness and optimism could fuel real change. The resolution? Arnold left office with a mixed legacy, but an undeniable impact. He proved you don't have to be born in America or politics to lead with vision. Like his films, his tenure was larger than life, full of plot twists, and impossible to ignore. So what can we learn from Arnold Schwarzenegger's journey? It's a story of reinvention, bodybuilder, movie star, politician, family man, advocate. Each act demanded a new set of skills, relentless adaptation, and the courage to face failure head on. Think about the psychological term growth mindset, the belief that abilities can be developed, and the concept of personal branding, crafting an identity that sets you apart. Now, you might ask, was it all destiny? Not a chance. Arnold's life is proof that the American dream isn't handed to you. It's built one rep at a time through sweat, setbacks, and stubborn belief. Let me leave you with this. No matter where you start, no matter the odds, you can break the mold. Arnold once said, "We are always stronger than we know." That's the heartbeat of his story. If you're facing your own uphill climb, remember Thal, that cold training room, and a kid who saw something bigger waiting for him across the ocean. Your own American dream, whatever it looks like, isn't out of reach. So, what's your next act? Because if Arnold taught us anything, it's that the best stories never end with just one chapter. Thanks for listening, and remember, you can always come back stronger.